Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone. I call this meeting to order at 6:30. 5:30. Oh, 5:30. 5:32 p.m. Do the roll call. I lost my place already. Roll call. Establish my quorum. Here we go. Thompson here.
Asher here.
Harris here. King here.
We have established our quorum. That's invocation, pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Do we have somebody for the invocation tonight? Trevor, we were going to vote you to do it anyways. That's awesome.
Please bow with me. Heavenly Father, we come to you today. Thank you first and foremost for this beautiful weather and the sunsetting that's found us once again. And we want to thank you for allowing us to be here, Lord, and all of us here to help improve this city and this community through different financial investments to help our businesses grow and flourish as we do business. Lord, I ask you to give us wisdom and help us make the right decisions as we go through this.
Public comments tonight? None? Okay. No, sir? Say that one more time. Agenda, okay. Got it, okay. Consent items from last meeting, which was 5.1. Almost on here. We placed our members.
I move to accept consent items 5.1 as presented.
First, second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? It passes. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to add that, for just kind of a little bit of a staff report, we did, finally close on the, Winnsboro property next door during February. Yay.
Yay.
All. So now just efforts will start to get the right person.
Excellent. Yes, it is. All right, so we're going to kind of rearrange the meeting tonight. Let's start with 6.3. Todd Witt requests for participation in Wood County walls. You're welcome. Work a PowerPoint?
No, y'all are taking that thing. So here, we'll do the PowerPoint. I'm a science teacher over in Grants Lane, so until the end of this year, and then I'm retiring. All right, so I've been before this group before. Several of you are new folks. My name is Todd Witt. Wear a lot of hats. One of them on a board of a nonprofit called Clinton Steel Coalition in Mineola. I also serve on the board of the Wood County EDC. I'm also the guy that went and saw an idea in Miami and came back and said, hey, this is a good idea. Let's give it a try. And guess what? They said, good. You take it, you run with it. So welcome to Wood County Walls. Was here a couple of years ago, kind of told you the idea. Just real quick, for those of you who want to, how do I move this? Just click one of you. Just so you know, it was something we saw in Miami. There's a thing called Wynwood Walls. It's the number 8 thing of 330 or 77 things to do in Miami, so it's pretty popular. Next slide. It's actually the second attraction, rated attraction in Miami. You think about Miami, that's a lot of stuff. Just happened to be down there by accident and saw tourists everywhere. And it's an old warehouse district. And I'm scratching my head and said, why are there bridal parties down here when there should just be warehouse trucks? And as I began to research it, walking around down there, people, it was all about the selfie. There's a whole economy that's built up around taking photos with the art and interacting with the art. It's a whole national movement that's bringing people in. And everywhere you go, they were lined up, and you saw everybody doing that kind of stuff. So if you look around down there, now this is Miami art. Obviously, this isn't what we see in Wood County, but it's kind of themed to the culture that's there. This is kind of a visitor center, and then you can see the art was all out in the buildings, all out through here, and here it is up on these walls. And so you would come to the Street Art Museum, and then you would take tours, and you would go out and see all the art. And that's when I came back and had this idea, what if we did that in Wood County, if we created a trail, got all the communities involved, and tried to attract people here from Sleep. Is it just popping through? Is it going through? Sorry. Sorry. It's going to go quick, but that was a little quicker than I'm used to going. So anyway, so the idea was there's not enough walls in Wood County in a single town to kind of, or place for public art, to really create an attraction that pulls everybody. So the idea was, can we unify all of the communities and kind of get the art going in the communities? And then that was the trail that we began 3 years ago to begin building basically a gallery, the street art gallery. Now we can go. We did our first wall in Mineola. This is the Unity Wall. We brought an artist out from Miami who helped paint us. We did that with both the artist and community members. We had 65 kids and about 35 adults working for a week on that wall. That was our proof of concept. The EDC, Wood County EDC got excited, and then the next slide is we created the Street Art Festival as we began that, and then we're going to flip through several. So if you see this art, this is what I showed y'all 3 years ago, and the blue things were projected art. We were going to do the green one was originally street art we had. Now we'll flip through, go forward about 3 years. This is the Lily Wall in Mineola. Just kind of giving y'all an idea. That's one of y'all. There's our pretty good. You remember Ivan painted your library. What's going on? This was art that got painted as part of that. This was equipment. A lot of this meant to be interactive, where you could look like you're interactive with the art. This is also the equipment we use for the Mineola. This is another one that was in Mineola. These are all international artists who have international followings. see the light blue is kind of the female demographic. This is age 35 to 44, 45 to 54. That's kind of it's mostly females that are active. Dudes like it too. I can appreciate it. I was a football player. I can't paint. I don't even have good handwriting, but I enjoy the art. We can get a lot of interactions on a single post. The next one is the Willie Nelson. Willie Nelson actually shared the post. It was on his birthday that we started painting that one. Look at just one post of day 2. Whenever I was, when we were painting that one, we had 10,000, almost 11,000 impressions from that. Pretty much going on. The other thing that I'm looking at as a researcher is what is the application. I get an email from a photographer that's talking about coming to start doing his photo shoots because the art we have is more contemporary. It's safer than deep film. When we say I'm not going to go to Athens anymore, I'm going to start coming to Wood County. So these are the kind of things that are telling me as a scientist, okay, this has potential. Do we know it yet? I don't have that data. Okay, but we're going to get it. We'll show you how. All right. So before I tell you about the website, another source of data that I have is this is at my house. This is my boathouse. And I sit up there. We're on Lake Holbrook. Lake Holbrook has been bought up by Dallas. Okay, they're all coming in. And I'll see the big pontoon boats come cruising by on a Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon. And they're looking at the art. And I can hear them. It's like they're sitting right next to me. And they're saying, I can hear them and they're saying, oh yeah, this art's all over the county. They got some in Winnsboro. They got some. I went to Winnsboro the other day and I hated Z's. I can hear that conversation. They're, oh, that's cool. Let's go. And those people never would leave Mineola, but when they see the art on the lake, they know the whole trail's there and they're going to do it. Yes, that is anecdotal. That is not hard data. I get it. I'm a scientist, but I understand that. These are the things that seem to be telling me that the behavior mechanisms. Okay. So here's the tool where we're going to drive this and measure. We got a website being developed. We had put together just a placeholder website. We never could do it ourselves. We're trying to do what's in here. We just don't do it. So we have contracted out. It'll be ready by the end of April. Group M7 over in Dallas. Okay. You're going to go, this is actually what the website's going to look like. If, I don't know, can you click on that? Will you go there? If it goes, this is the landing sheet we gave them to kind of show you. If we go, we can scroll it. So if we scroll it, this is what it'll look like. So this is kind of the landing page. We'll be having our art in here. This was just to show them what to do. This is what they're building. Okay? You kind of see all this stuff. Now go to the next PowerPoint slide. Keep going. Okay. Let's just say we go to the Mineola page. We're going to feature artwork. You'll just, I can do it a different way. Here. Just go down to this slide. I can show you all this. So now if you scroll down, okay, it'll talk about the art. This one says Mineola. Yours will obviously say Winnsboro. got this stuff, we're about to start a campaign called Live Here, Give Here, which we have all these people moving in from the big cities, but they don't know how to be a part of a small community. If you live in a small community, you should give. We want you to know, we want you to know. So we're organizing a campaign called Live Here, Give Here. We come to talk to you all that once we get further into it. But I've been working with their students. They're helping their marketing programs, they're helping us design all these. I show you all that because they're gonna be working with us as part of the all that. So,
what's the average cost for one of the paintings?
So here's the deal. One of these paintings that you're seeing coming in here, if they were to charge us the regular price, they were a little bit about $40,000. The size that we're doing there, maybe other stuff. We happen to make friends with one of the artists. We were down there for spring break with his wife. And so now they're all coming down here, and for $5,000 and their travel expenses and supplies,
So Winnsboro doesn't get any input into what the actual painting is, correct? Doesn't the artist kind of pick their own painting?
When we worked at the library worked with the artist, and they came up with the design. So the EDC had input, and then it was kind of the library and the artist. On this one, it was a train. I think. You want to do trains? That way, I thought y'all wanted trains. So they were like,
I think that helps, maybe should be. We were also put up in time for a wall and
So, well, the question is, do we wanna fund the 5,000 for the motion to approve or deny the requests for the Wood County Walls Program?
You leave it to me, I'm gonna make a motion to grant the request for $5,000 to the Wood County Walls Program.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I'm
So are
opposed.
you opposed?
Motion. I'm opposed, Trevor's opposed. Motion passes. All right. 6.4. Action to set the date for the BRE workshop.
It was very difficult to get everybody's schedules together, and so I thought it'd be easier to do it while everyone's in the same room.
Do you
I
have
think March 7th was
suggest?
the next date. I think,
Okay. How long is the workshop?
I could be here on the seventh. I'm no longer having that team.
so then, probably the only one on that.
Well, I said that I couldn't do it on the 21st, and, but I think the 7th is good as long as it's, late in the morning to,
It's going to be like 9 to 12.
do it. Don't want to do it. I can do it.
We don't want to do it on a Saturday either, but we're going to.
Well, that means I just don't get other stuff done. I'll
Okay,
do
so
it.
March 7th, right, same. March 7th, okay. Deal.
All right, so the date's set for March the 7th.
We have to approve that, and there will be a calendar invite.
Will it be here? Will it be here?
We're still deciding on location.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll bounce back up to 6.1. The incentive request from USA Tax Pro.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jose Mondano. I'm the owner of USA Tax Pro, tax preparation office here in Winnsboro. Been in Winnsboro since 2023. In this building, 602 West Broadway. Hopefully you've seen my Uncle Sam that's kind of waving people towards the building. Not done this before, so forgive any if I misspeak or I don't normally publicly speak. But I'll share what happened with the building. And I'm currently renting from Nicholas Tovar, who's the building owner. And we're here just to see what kind of help we can get. So Super Bowl Sunday, which February 8th, I believe, walked into the building to try to get some work done. And as soon as I opened the door, I smelled wet carpet. And I'm thinking, this is not good. So I go and inspect the restrooms, and there was a toilet that had been running all weekend. And so with that caused flooding throughout a majority of the building. There's some areas that were untouched by water, but the majority of the building had wet carpet coming from the toilet. So made a phone call to the other business inside the building, which was impacted, the contractor, and explained to him what was happening in that toilet. He sent someone out to inspect the building, or inspect what was happening. Called Nick, and he came out. Nick has owned the building. He'll probably tell you how long he's owned the building. So he knew more about potentially what was going on. So here's some pictures of some of the damage, some of what I walked into. Also, while while we were having some shop vacs and I went to Brookshire's and got a carpet cleaner, Nicholas made a call to the city, and Jarrett Elmore was able to come out pretty quickly, in my estimation, faster than I would have expected. He was there in outside of 20 minutes or so, maybe even less, and it was very helpful and to kind of help locate maybe what the issue was. And so, in doing so, he and his team were able to find out that the original plumbing that was done from the clean out to the city main was installed with Schedule 1 PVC, is what I've been told, which is the thinnest, cheapest PVC you can use. It's not the correct schedule for how it was being used. So, having discovered that, we realized that roots, rocks, shifting just causes clean out to fail, and that's what the running water throughout the entire weekend had nowhere to go but inside the building. So, so that's what happened. Since then, we've put together a few crews of people from my church, and we've actually pulled out all the carpet, baseboards, anything that was touched by the water. Outside the sheetrock, we still need to cut the sheetrock, and we've gotten some quotes. Well, for sure, one quote from the renter in the building, who is a contractor, and so that was presented to us, and it was provided, I think, in the packet, or at least through a link. But that's what happened, and we, because of Jarrett and his kind of knowledge of this meeting coming up, and kind of there might be help sometimes for businesses, local businesses, he suggested that we make a phone call, and so Nicholas was able to set this up. So I'm very thankful to be able to share this story with you today and see what help potentially is available. So I'm going to turn it over to Nick. I think that's the majority of what happened.
I apologize, you don't have in front of you the actual quote from them proposed. I have a copy of that if y'all would like to pass it around. I think it should be in the bid proposal. Yep, there it is. That's it right there, yeah. So this is, if you notice in here, I'll show you right here. He has offered to waive 30% of the company profit, and that's part of the reason why we didn't look any further, because his goal was to help us as well in this endeavor, and so I've owned the building since 2017. I originally moved the building to Winnsboro to try to start a business a long time ago. It's called the Cove. It was a resale shop. It didn't go so well, and so ended up trying to sell it. Well, that's when Cindy came in, who was a bookkeeping company, and she rented it, and then kind of transitioned into Jose with the USA Tax Pro, and so we're in the process of discussing the things about that. But as far as it goes, unfortunately, my insurance company dropped me at the last minute. It was one of those. I don't know if you've heard of any of those kind of horror events, and so I am a Algebra 1 high school teacher as well as a pastor at First Baptist Church in Como, and so unfortunately this has been a really hard issue that's taken place, and so we're trying to obviously reach out and get help and assistance to help us with the repairs of the building. So I know in the application I mentioned Jose's business along with the other business. They obviously affect at least 700 plus customers a year, and so they are growing in business, and so that's about all I have as well. So do you have any questions?
Yeah, we've grown year over year since being in Winnsboro. We're very excited to have a flagship location of USA Tax Pro. When I bought the bookkeeping business, my goal was to renovate and just to bring a fresh, nice look to the building. And so this was, it was just kind of mortifying to kind of have to deal with something like this. So we've had to empty the offices to gut them, and so I'm currently officing in my lobby, which is not really conducive to some of the conversations I have to have with clients about 2 employees. Ron probably has a crew of, I would say, 10 plus. So, and that's the other business that, he's not here, but he was impacted by this also.
So your employees are seasonal or they're 2 full-time?
They're 2 part-time. Part-time year-round. You can only work 2 days a week, or one can only work, they can each only work 2 days a week, so, yes, they are.
And so I'm gonna come back to the insurance, so it says that we discontinued the policy on 1/12. As the owner of the business, do you require any renters insurance on your tenant?
I do not, like I said, I'm not, an investor or anything like that, so it's like, you know, it was just, we have a very base set pay that he pays. I didn't require any of that. Part of the reason is, he did do some construction, you know, improvement on it, and so I wanted to kind of give him free rein to make it, spruce it up, make it look good and stuff, and so, I don't know what all that entails with insurance as far as that goes, and so.
And I believe renter's insurance maybe covers contents, don't know that it would cover
Building
the building
damage.
damage. And I do carry general liability and some of the insurance is required for my business, but, at the time, renter's insurance wasn't something I felt.
The insurance was dropped, did you reapply for?
I did, yes, sir. My company, or the company that I went through, just because I used to live in Jacksonville, Texas, is Jacksonville Insurance. We're in the process of going through that. The problem was is in the inspection of the building, but now in the current state that it's in, you know, the insurance company is gonna come in and see that, and they're obviously gonna probably deny our application for it. So it's very, very unfortunate timing, the way that it took place. And so, it's just a couple weeks before this happened, so unfortunately. So we're kind of in a dilemma in that, where, you know, the current state of the building would not pass inspection for, insurance company, so.
So you still don't have insurance on it?
That's correct. We're in the process of, but they told us that we'd have to get it repaired in order to move forward with the process, so.
What's your contingency plan if you don't receive money from PUC?
Prayer, is what, first
Well,
one.
but that won't repair anything.
Sure, no, you know, I've already maxed out all my credit cards, to get this repaired, but I will continue to make sure and, you know, get a loan if I have to for this and, try to get it paid for and stuff. Yes, sir. That's no problem.
And I may have missed it, but what caused the insurance to get dropped, in January?
They didn't give me a reason. From what I asked my insurance agent, she told me that they've dropped lots of policies. For whatever reason, I'm not sure. She told me that they're in the process of I don't remember how they worded it, but redoing all of their insurance policies. And so it was a Hyacom Insurance, and so they were an insurance company that I found that helped a lot. I had a smaller insurance company that was out of Gilmer. They kind of went out of business, and then we switched to these, and we've been with them for 3 years, I believe. And so, and then they dropped us.
So it's not they went out of business.
Not that I'm aware of.
Because the state would stand in with their insurance if they did.
Correct.
As long as your policy was effective, they would. I mean, that's why I was asking. Why did you not get I mean, it's none of my business really, but you should have dropped new insurance on it the day after the other one dropped you. It should have happened.
We did. The problem was is that they had to do an inspection due to the age of the building, and I guess they were so far behind that my insurance agent told me that it's going to be a 2-week probably for an inspection.
Okay. Questions?
To go back to the business aspect, what's generated in the time of year. It says annually 700 plus. Is that just you or is that the other business as well?
That is, I'm at around 600, and we've grown year over year in Winnsboro, so, is 20% is where we're at, is what we're trending at. And there was a couple of other offices in Winnsboro that were well-known, and the CPAs have passed on. And I think our office and H&R Block are the two offices. I know when I Google now checked it. We do show up as number one, so I'm very thankful for the community. I'm thankful for, being the top of the search. Would love to continue to foster this growth, but just to answer your question, I'd say 20% is what we're looking at year
I know
over
we're
year.
really early in the tax season.
Have you seen some growth? I know there was a change over at HR Block manager, and obviously just things online that first, everything, we're looking at Block. Have you already seen growth this year in terms of customers? I know that's very early.
Yes, January was marginal growth, and I tracked it. January was over prior January. And February is not closed out yet. I've already beat February of prior year. I kind of look at that.
You're seeing growth.
I'm seeing growth, very excited about it. And the community's been very understanding when I have to explain them, sorry, we don't have anywhere to meet. We're in construction, we have a water issue. But I do foresee continued growth, and I'm thankful for that. We just love to move past this.
How long have you got how long was your lease on the building?
We take it year by year. I think initially we did a 2-year, and then after that, we're just kind of taking it year by year.
Does that start over in January?
It was actually officially up in October of 24, I believe, if I remember correctly. And we haven't officially renewed the lease, but we're just kind of taking it, like I said, month to month here. Just
Which
for
was
the
part of the
foreseeable
contract
future.
that it would turn into month to month.
Anything else? All right, thank you for your time. We've got can we hear the verbal, can we talk about the next item and then go into executive session?
Financials, so if that needs to be done in executive session, so if that becomes a part of the conversation, I was just asking you to.
Executive session. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
You don't have to leave right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go into a closed session in a minute.
Trying to get back to it, my laptop's acting funky. All right, so we've got incentive, 6.2, incentive request from Honor Coffee.
Good evening, y'all. Yeah, my name is Jonathan Henry. This is less intimidating than Mineola, I will say that. So, I'm a business owner on Honor Coffee Co. We have our first location here, our second location in Quitman, and then a third and fourth location coming later this year in Mineola and Lindale. Here today, just asking for some funds we just found a new building that just came available right next to Dairy Queen, which we believe could be an awesome drive-through location for us. And so just asking for some help there with mainly just to help with the build out of that location. And so I didn't have I had 4 days to plan this and a Disney trip. So
What all needs to be done to the building? What do y'all have?
yeah, so Dustin Ham, you guys, did they have that? Yeah, you're good. Cool. So Dustin Ham, he's a contractor here. He just gave us a bid for all the items there. Paint for the exterior, plumbing, the drive-through itself. And so that's all the work they would do. That's the work. If we were able to secure the funds from the EDC, that's what the funds would go towards. And then I would put an additional 10 to 12,000 towards equipment and things like that.
Customer numbers come from that are on your application. You're showing 1,500 a month annually, 18,000.
Yeah, so we do
Where
two.
did you get
Yeah,
that
so we do 2,000 a month in Quitman. That's a walk-in store, and currently we do. I believe it's right now we do about 1,000 currently where we are. A month on Elm Street. And so with moving to, I believe TxDOT did 2 years ago. TxDOT did where they have the camera and they count the cars. It was 900 on. Is that what is that, Walnut?
Walnut.
On Walnut, that's 900 on Walnut, it's 11,000 right here. And so, I would say that's conservative, 1,500 or 2,000 a month. I believe, in my heart, I believe we could do 3,000 a month, but for this meeting, I'd rather go low than and then say 3,000, then we get 2,500, and then I'm a liar. And so,
Do you have a lease in your current spot?
absolutely, yeah.
So do you have to break that lease?
No, so right now we're month to month. So I've been there a year and 4 months now, and so right now for this year we're month to month. Yes, ma'am.
Who's your biggest competitor now, or?
So so we're specialty coffee. So we're the only specialty coffee in the county. You have to go to Tyler or Dallas to get specialty coffee, and so I know a lot of folks say, "What is specialty coffee?" So think of it as like Slaughter's Barbecue, who we're partnered with in Sulphur Springs. They're specialty barbecue, right? So they're different than, let's say, a Soul Man's, to where we're different from, let's say, Starbucks, right? Yeah. So our coffee. Yeah. So our coffee is the highest grade of coffee in the world. So we pay $20 a pound for coffee, while our competitors pay $9 to $12. So it's just the highest grade of coffee. Also, just a lot of the culture that comes with specialty coffee is different. The priority for most coffee shops is to sell as many coffees as they can, get them out the window. For specialty coffee, the culture is, it's more hospitality driven. It's more craftsmanship, right? We're not just pushing a button and something's happening and we're selling it to you. There's craftsmanship.
Is there like stipulations to what makes you be able to call yourself specialty?
Yeah. So number one is buying specialty coffee, right? And so from a specialty coffee roaster, and so those roasters are great. So if you call yourself a specialty coffee roaster, the Specialty Coffee Association will come into your roastery, grade your beans 1 to 100. If any of your beans grade under an 80, you're not a specialty. And so we use Valor Coffee, which is they've won best coffee in the world the last 3 years at the Specialty Coffee Association. And so so that's what would grant it.
Try to make it clear that like just because it's a latte doesn't mean it's special or non-special.
Right, yeah. So Starbucks has so Starbucks and Dutch Bros, like businesses like that, have kind of muddied the verbiage around that, right? So when people say specialty latte, a lot of folks will think like syrupy lattes. That's just no marketing lingo. True specialty coffee, there's an actual market for that, right? So you think of like a lot of the nicer shops you go to in downtown Dallas, the Foundry in Tyler, likewise in Tyler, Brady's in Tyler, all of those are specialty coffee shops. And so with that, are there other folks in Winnsboro that sell coffee? Absolutely. We're different. So it's really hard to say who's my competitor.
But you're strictly drive-through here, you're not gonna have any sit-down?
Yeah, so in the new location?
Yes.
Yeah, so in the new location, we would be primarily drive-through, but we would have a walk-up window in the garage area. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that building. But there would be a walk-up window, and then we would decorate the inside of the in the garage. I'd want to get some of those nice glass black trim garage doors. We're going to be painting it white and black. Maybe even do a mural. Maybe even get with Mr. Witt on a mural. And yeah, so we will have we do a lot of events in Quitman, and I'd want to do the same here. So worship nights are a big thing for us in Quitman. Open mic nights, game nights when we hold them at the right time. Sorry, Trevor. And things like that for the community.
So you will have a lounge area?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was.
Sorry, that was the long way to it. Yeah.
Major competitors would be like Hazel's Coffee.
Sure.
That's with us.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that Southwest Mall actually is on my list, just like.
Well, good. Yeah, that's what I was thinking whenever
Formula.
he was talking. Yeah. So, but yeah, this move mainly for me is I'm from Winnsboro. I grew up here, and my wife teaches first grade here. Quitman is, and I have the financials if you guys like to see. Quitman's four times what Winnsboro is right now, and I believe the main reason for that is traffic. With us opening up in Mineola and then Lindell, I believe those locations are also going to be high volume stores. I don't want to see Winnsboro fall under, fall in the mix of that, because this is home for us. And so I believe this is really just us investing in the stability of our Winnsboro location.
I'll be completely honest. My hesitation is your constant opening new businesses.
Sure.
Trying to already start opening new businesses in Silver Springs.
Sure.
Trying to Silver Springs, so that's not working out. And now adding the Winnsboro location,
Yeah.
location on top of the Winnsboro location, equipment that you have. And so just, that's where my reservations are here is there going to be enough of you to enact this
Yeah.
movement and make it what it's worth it? You're also trying to get within 2 other locations.
Sure.
In 2 other communities at the same exact time. And
Yeah.
having already seen some of that kind of fail.
Yeah.
At Silver Springs store.
Yeah. So Silver Springs didn't fail. So when we went to go, we signed a lease in Silver Springs, and then Kelly called. And so that just looked like a better opportunity for us for Silver Springs. We actually still have the ability to go into that building. I believe her name's Bethany Ashby, who owns that building. And so we still have the ability to do that, and I want to do that in the future. As far as will there be enough of me to go around? No. I believe in systems. I'm a Chick-fil-A guy. I was a Chick-fil-A operation manager, and so SOPs are huge. That's the only way you can scale, is if you have SOPs, if you have systems, and if you have really good people and you have really good culture. And so that's another thing with even with the festival that we're putting on, right? Like I'm really good at finding people that are really good at what they do, and then building those teams, right? And so that's what we did with the festival. That's what we've done with equipment. I haven't been in equipment in 6 weeks as far as working, and it's going great. We have incredible leads over there, incredible team, and all that happens with SOPs, systems, and then great culture. And so, but yeah, and as far as going really fast, as far as opening up new locations, I don't know. I believe I look at failure a little bit different than I guess a lot of folks look at it. I look at it as we're learning faster than everybody, and so because I don't see Honor as just small, just coffee company. I look at it as something that in 10, 15 years from now, it's going to be much, much larger. Not even just East Texas. And so, and we have, I feel like the numbers so far show that we can do that at scale. And so, yeah.
Anybody else?
Do you have any thoughts on how your traffic will affect the other businesses, like your
Yeah.
club?
Yeah. I don't think that I think the only one that would be most impacted would probably be CVS. And I don't think that with the drive-through, with the way that building is set and where the drive-through would be, I don't know if it would really impact them. I think that would take us making sure, intentionally making sure that that drive-through is going away from that entrance, right? So, because Dairy Queen's a perfect example. If you get 3 cars deep, you're in the middle of the lane on 37. And so just being intentional of making sure that lane goes to the left and not curve to the right. Because if it did go to the right, I could see where, that would be blocking an entrance to CVS, right? So it'd be on the north, so the CVS side. Yeah.
So I know you're asking us for 12,000, correct?
Correct.
And the remodel is 13,000.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
How much money are you putting into it?
12,000. Yeah. So I'll be putting in 12,000. It will cover that as well as some equipment. So like ice machine, we're gonna have another espresso machine, more refrigerators, things like that.
But you have equipment you're gonna move from the current.
Correct. Yeah. It's just Trevor, his wife gets coffee with us. Our machine is a single boiler espresso machine, and so it takes a little bit longer to get a latte, especially a hot drink. Ice drinks are pretty quick, but hot drinks, that boiler has to work to steam the milk. And so we would get a larger espresso machine, because the whole point of drive-through is fast. And so if you're waiting 3-4 minutes for a latte, you know, that defeats the point of having a drive-through, in my opinion, other than not having to get out of your car.
Anything else?
What about parking? Talk about having a
Yeah.
location and something about figuring out any parking areas.
Yeah, so there's, I believe, 3 parking spots there in the front, to the it's the south of the building, and then behind the building, there's, I believe, 30 or so feet deep by the length of the building. It's right now it's grassy, and then there's a hole to China back there. I don't know if you ever fell in that with your car, but we'll fill that in, and then that could be parking behind the building. It was.
So, any chemical issues?
No, so I don't believe they actually.
Is
I don't,
that
yeah,
been inspected?
yeah, yeah. And I don't believe Neil. So Neil and I are actually going to work together if this goes through. So we'll be bringing the cleaners back. So he'll have a pickup day and a drop-off day for that. But I don't believe he was cleaning in that.
He was sending it to
Yeah, he was
Sulphur
sending to
Springs.
Sulphur Springs. Yeah, I know Neil pretty well. But yeah. So basically the same thing would happen, right? So you could drop off your dry cleaning, get a coffee, and then pick it up 2 days later. Yeah. And then hopefully get another coffee and a burrito.
Yeah. All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
So at this time, in accordance with the Texas Local Government Code Exception number 551.087, the board will adjourn into a closed session at 6:45 p.m.
So we may call you back in.
I'm sorry. All right,
I moved. We go into executive
there's the
session.
first, got a second. All in favor?
Aye.
It's to go into executive session.
You're too quick for me.
Well, it's because it was already in my mind. In accordance with Texas Local Code Exception number 551.087, the board will adjourn into a closed session at 6:45 p.m.